So while Joe's tending to the fire, we just had a look at this Matt Graham designed little bugger. Another knife that I've come to greatly enjoy, and I am absolutely thrilled to get it out here today. This is the Earthskills knife. So Matt Graham is an avid primitive skills outdoorsman. This is part of his brainchild. He has a lot of knives that are thin stock, very light and wieldy, but just do a great job with even some heavier tasks. Now with an 1/8 inch stock, you do need to be a little bit careful, but this Earthskills knife is just a beauty. So I'm gonna continue to do a little more processing. We're having a little bit of trouble with some of the moisture. I mean, we're getting the fire going, but we definitely need to get some fine stuff to continue to catch and really make the fire strong. So I'm gonna get into it here with the Earthskills knife.
This knife does feel so good in the hand. I'm going to do some little batoning. Nope, it's okay. Great cuts. Bites right in. So another Tops knife. This is the Pup XL. Yep. Okay. I'm gonna make a little spatula for our cooking. Give it an attempt. Get that little piece off. Get it off there. See if we can get this thing thinned out a little bit. Nice. That will get us flipping some eggs, Eric. How's that for cowboy coffee? No guarantees.
All right, so while the food's cooking, figured we'd continue to talk a little bit more. Now, we've talked an awful lot about tops and their knives. They get into axes and hatchets and all kinds of other things. And they do an annual contest where internally they do a design contest. And this is actually one of the winners of their internal design contest. This is the Grandpa's axe, and I've come to greatly enjoy this. Rocky Mountain tread, obviously full tang design. Just a cool little camp hatchet.
Wow, feels great. Clean. Oh, that is awesome.
That's pretty cool.
That is really nice. No kidding. Wow.
So there's something that I've always said about this. This, to me, performs much larger than it is. Yeah. Just has a real serious bite. I mean, this, I've taken down, 6-inch trees with this, no problem. And, you can use it for batoning tasks if you need to and help you with some splitting. But just really, really cool.
I like that a lot. Perfect size, perfect hatchet size. Even for processing fat wood at the stump for, cooking inside. Clean, crisp lines. Pound steaks with that all day long. That's really nice. The handle ergonomics are amazing.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. And one of the things about again, going back to the wide variety of different products in the product lineup. I mean, now that we're talking about the axes and the hatchets, you go from tactical, military. You even have some like huge chopping axes, and then you get into these nice little fine ones. I mean, this one here just really cool. Nice leather work.
Thick 9-10 ounce leather, double stitching, single snap retention, nice mask. That's really generous belt loop. That's really cool.
I would probably myself, I might change up the color on this just a little bit, maybe dye it a little bit darker for my personal liking. But again, just you can't go wrong with the craftsmanship. It's great.
No, I love the leather work. That's a sweet rig.
Yeah, I thought you'd enjoy that.
I do enjoy that.
That's the Grandpa's axe.
Nice.
Now, hold on one second. I'm
I
dying.
have my Tops axe upstairs. I forgot. international dude is going to be. Oh boy.
Ooh, baby.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers. Oh yeah. Hungry.
Always well earned.
Oh yeah.
We typically do well.
Mm.
Right amount of crunch.
Mm-hmm.
Little fire patina on here.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah.
Nice. All right, so finishing up the last couple bites of our grub here, and Joe and I have been talking just back and forth a little bit, and I alluded to this earlier, but let's talk about some of those tops knives that we've had in our collections that are no longer there, because I know I have quite a few.
Yeah. I've thought about it. I haven't, but I do have one that I did sell. I did sell my Tex Creek, not the anniversary edition, but my standard one.
Yep.
You know, I almost, not that I regret it, but sometimes you use, you know, leverage to get other knives. These handles are so much better than the originals, right? They're just so nicely contoured, and they're thicker, so you feel the hand a lot better. I don't really have the need personally for a semi-sharpened swedge just for that penetrating capability, because most of the work I'm doing is wood processing for batoning, and it does chew up the baton a little bit. I was able to put a 90-degree spine right here, just touch that on the grinder, and you get a really good edge out of it. That thing sparked very well. The sheath was incredible. The same thick leather that I'm used to. It carried really nice. It showed really well. But this package just is aesthetically pleasing. The red, the black, the leather, and it's one of their original designs, you know. If I were to pick it up again, I'd have to see if I can get my hands on a, I know they're tough to get, but...
The anniversary edition?
Yeah, this
Nice.
is gorgeous.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because one of the knives that I did get rid of, and I no longer have it in my collection, but I would like to get it back. And that's kind of one of those things that happens, you know. You know, knives leave your collection and then you want to get them back. But it was the Tex Creek XL.
Oh yeah.
And the reason for me was mostly because I felt as though it was so forward weighted. It just wasn't balanced the way I wanted. And similar to you got to kind of keep things moving and evolve, and you know, get your hands on new blades. And that one didn't quite make the cut. And I know a lot of people swear by and absolutely love the Silent Hero.
Oh yeah.
I've had two of them.
Really?
Yeah, the first one I got it, and it was, you know, I didn't use it, but as soon as I got it in my hands, I realized that the geometry wasn't doing it for me. And then I thought about it and was like, you know what? I never even gave it a chance to cut. So I had sold the original one. I got, you know, my hands on another one, and I did actually do a, you know, field use video on that. And my thoughts about it were absolutely correct for my personal hands and the shape of my hands and what I like to do. It doesn't fit. So I sold that one off too. I've had two Tahoma field knives.
Oh wow!
Same thing, you know. Had a first one and didn't quite resonate with me, and then I got a second one. The first one had the sharpened swedge.
Yeah.
The second one actually was unsharpened, which is pretty cool. Those are hard to get your hands on sometimes.
Okay.
But I mean, that's the thing is, you know, love-hate relationship. Sometimes these knives, they just talk to you and speak to you, and they become part of your collection, and other times you just simply need to move on.
It's true, and tell you one thing about the brand Tops. There's literally 100 to 200 or more designs, and that's the thing. So if you talk about a brand that you know the build is there, right? You know the sheath is there, but you want to say the ergonomics, the function, the shape. You know, if you do collect, there's so many different unique shapes here. But one thing I would say about Tops knives, unlike some other brands, is I have to give it a little bit more time in hand to gain that muscle memory, because there's a lot of uniqueness in these shapes that really boils down to, you say, boy, this is the knife I have today. Doesn't really fit that well. Did you give it some time? Did you do some backyard bushcrafting with it? Did you do some food prep with it to really understand the benefit? So once that's said, and you got that old familiar friend, I love that word that you mentioned before, you just can't turn it down, because these things, they age, they patina so well, they mod very easily, they sharpen great, they hold an edge. You can just work them over so hard, and there is a confidence in brand of Tops knives. Even if it's a thinner 3/16 stock, we baton some pretty hard stuff with it, no question.
Yep.
Their edges out of the box. Have you ever had a problem with a Tops edge out of the box?
I've never had a problem with anything out of the box. Never once. Never one time.
Never. It's even that their boxing, their packaging, the warranty card, it just screams to me US made, US engineered, attention to detail, care, but it really boils down to me, design. There is something for the aesthetic collector, for the futuristic collector, for the tactical operator, but no matter what Tops knife you have, to me, they all look badass.
They are badass.
They're just so badass.
I agree.
You're not going to say, I got a Tops knife, it looks like a weak little thing. No. You pull it out, and really, it just intimidates. Okay? There is something to be said if you have a Tops knife. Even if you have only 1 or 2 knives in all of your collection, you're just a user, you're a ranch hand, you're an operator, you're a construction worker, you just know that there is serious confidence in hand with Tops. It's a brand you trust.
I firmly agree. And you brought up a couple of things. I mean, you said, first thing is, from the box and the packaging, and it's, I happen to have this here today. And one thing that we didn't mention is the name Tops. And people just say Tops, Tops, Tops. But I mean, if you actually dig into it, it's tactical operational products. So I mean, there's more than meets the eye with some of this stuff. It's the attention to detail. One life, one knife. Well, I mean,
love that.
we have more than one knife here, but I mean, that's the reality. Is if you really needed to have that one that you trust, and you look at their mission and their vision and their values, their warranty, they stand behind their products, and their warranty works a little bit different than, say, for example, and we'll throw SE out there. SE's the unconditional, no matter what, replacement policy. I've heard Craig from Tops talking about their warranty at length. And you know what? If there's a problem with your knife, they're going to take care of you. So that's the thing. That you're with a brand that you can trust. You can trust the knife. You're not going to have a problem. But if you do, the people are behind it, and they're going to back you up. So, and that's funny because in each one of their boxes, and this isn't really so much a warranty card, but this is their certificate of authenticity. Now, I was just saying to Joe and to all of you, have you ever read this? Because if you're anything like me and you get your new Tops knife, you go, and you're looking at it and you get mesmerized and you get so distracted and you go, I know this is important, so I'm just going to put this off to the side. But guess what? You start to play with the knife. You never take a look at this. And there's some interesting details when you actually pay attention to this. Now, the first thing, which is this will verify that this knife is made by Tops Knives 101% hand finished in the USA. So that's the first thing. You have this hand finished knife that we've already talked about, made in the USA, with people that really know what they're doing, and they put the quality and the care into that. And it becomes even more evident when you read the back. So, I mean, there is some basic stuff. They talk about cleaning your micarta and different things you can do. But let's get into a little detail. If you really pay attention here, it talks about their 1095. 1095 high carbon steel is easily resharpened. The angle for small knives is 18 to 20 degrees, and for a large knife, 20 to 25 degrees. Did you know that?
Nope.
I didn't know that. Now, I could have made some guesses and assumptions, but they tell you.
That's
now,
amazing.
Had we been reading and paying attention all this time, it actually is giving you some good guidance as to how to sharpen and maintain your blades. Did you know this? Should your knife require a new factory edge in the future, we are happy to do it for you free of charge. Free of charge.
Oh, I thought it was 25 bucks. Free.
Free of charge.
Look at it.
Please just include an appropriate amount to ship your knife safely back to you.
Yeah.
So looking for return shipping, totally understandable.
Wow.
But did you know that any one of these blades we've looked at today, if you need a new factory edge, you can send it right back to them.
No kidding.
I would have never known. But had I read my card? Now this is where I take a little exception. Tops knives are not made for throwing. I mean, I don't think we've thrown many of them, but I would.
Oh, yeah.
Prying with the knife tip is not recommended. It just says recommended. I mean, I think that's the case with most knives, but I know we can certainly get away with it. So, and I just think that that's interesting. You know, again, more attention to detail. The idea being that, you know, they have their warranty in place. They will take care of you. You can get your knife sharpened. You know, they tell you the angles and things to pay attention to. I like that. Attention to detail and a great job from Tops Knives.
You know, it's funny. A lot of brands, after 20 years, this is 20-something years are going on Tops here.
Yeah, 1998 they were founded.
Yeah, so 22 years. The one thing I could tell you is I have so many brands that I loved years ago that have just started to skimp out over time. Starting with packaging. You get them, you're starting to see them in retail stores. And they have the plastic shrink wrap packaging. You know, to me, that starts a sign of cheapening things. The literature, you start to get that recycled like receipt paper, and it just wears off in your hand. This has been on every knife that I bought. The whistle, I have it on my keychain for 5 years. It's completely rounded out. It's still so loud, and it's so thin you can slide it right into any bag or wallet, whatever, right? Yep, their fire steel is solid because it has the magnesium on it. And even down to the boxes. I like a nice box. It comes down to, you talk about presentation. Yeah, we can get into presentation packaging, but, in the end, the knife shouldn't come dripping in inexpensive oil. It bleeds through the sheath. It shouldn't come in shrink wrap and bubble wrap and plastic wrap. That makes it hard to take off. It shouldn't be too salesy. Tops' mission, to create the highest quality, rugged, unique, and I'll tell you I like that about that. They are unique, overbuilt, and functional tools for service members and outdoorsmen of all kinds throughout our superior manufacturing, finishing processes, and genuine field operators testing. Their vision to provide our clients the tools that they can trust completely and exceed their expectations every time, and their value: American integrity, quality, durability, performance, and consistency. We actually touched on a lot of those aspects today. So
you talk about a Tops knife, and guess what? That comes out naturally in your conversation. You can't help but discover that as you go through the blades. It's unbelievable.
Has anybody ever looked at a Tops knife and go, never?
Never. I don't think so.
If I see one in the belt, if I see one in the pack, I'm always going to say, hey, can you show me your Tops knife? And then the more that thing gets abused, patina, and chipped and nicked and burnt and destroyed, the more you know this person means business. They're not carrying a Tops knife because they want to look good. They're carrying a Tops knife because their skill, their tools are to be trusted. You ever see that person just carrying certain brand of knives, especially a Tops knife, and you say, I'm not going to mess with that person. They know what they're doing, right? That's to me the Tops brand, and it never has changed in all the years I've owned them. Kudos to the brand. Kudos to the folks at Tops. I could tell you it's probably a fun place to work. They're also, when it comes to their final inspection, right? You can never see a video or have one of these. We've got like 15 of them here, and go, oh, that's a burnished edge. That blade edge is burnt out. They overground it. Never.
Never seen it.
Ever.
Never once.
Never once.
Yeah, it's impressive.
Anyway, there's more Tops knives now that I want to pick up. That 20th anniversary Tex Creek, I gotta get that on the list.
What about the Pasayten?
You know what? I can close my eyes and pick any one of these and be totally thrilled. This is Longhorn Bowie?
Yeah.
Do we not test this? We've shown this in other videos.
Well, it's interesting that you bring that up.
This is one of my favorites.
Yeah, so one of the things that I want to talk about, and with this Longhorn Bowie. Now,
gosh, it feels like that.
The other good benefit that you get from Tops Knives is you do end up with a lot of aftermarket support. Now, different from other companies. I mean, you're not getting replacement handle scales too often. I haven't seen many. But a lot of good sheath support and a lot of customizability. So these days, there are some guys coming up. I want to throw a quick shout out to Hunter Cutchin of DB Hemlock, who's been doing some amazing work with specifically Tops Knives, amongst others. But if you look at some of Hunter's work, he's doing some really incredible custom grinding work, etching work, and different details that go into these. So, you know, that is another avenue at this point, is completely customizing your Tops knife. But you also get, again, good aftermarket support. Joe, you have a number of aftermarket sheaths here.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you have leather,
Yep.
you have Kydex. I also have a nice aftermarket Kydex for my Longhorn Bowie, which I've come to greatly enjoy. This is the work of Mark Irving from Extreme Edge Custom Kydex. Had this made, you know, perfectly custom for me. You know, perfect retention, not going to come out. I trust it. Perfect fit. And, I mean, you can get that with Tops Knives. You can't say that about all companies out there. I mean, a number of makers that do some excellent work and can really give you that custom carry option.
They do that because, you know, a good custom sheath maker is going to have their own stock. When they say mail in your Tops bob because they want a custom fit, to me that tells me they don't have a bob on hand. But you have to know, if you go to eBay or one of the aftermarket, you know, and you say, I want a Silent Hero sheath, you get the Silent Hero sheath and you know it's going to fit perfectly. And that's because Tops Knives' consistent approach to their design manufacturing, you're not going to have a blade shape that's inconsistent, a handle that's overground. You just know that aftermarket support, 2 days, even if they have it pre-built and you get it and you go on your expedition, retention lockup is absolutely perfect. There's no question. Mail in your Tops knife because I have to fit the sheath to it. Not necessary.
And I agree, and you nailed it. And guess what? There's a reason why these guys have these knives. I mean, yes, it's a good market for them, but they also naturally gravitate to the knives. I mean, these knives are part of their collection. They want them in their hands. They want to hold them. And these become their molds for all the sheaths. So yeah, you don't need to mail in your knife, but that's because these guys own all these blades.
I know, it's true. So we get different manufacturers here. We got one I have probably 10 sheets from. Zoni 59. Found them on eBay. Price is right. Fit, finish, absolutely incredible. This sheath is old. This is probably 5 years, and I bought it from Zoni with this custom sheath. It came with the knife, which is brand new, all the paperwork, and the Tops Kydex for the black Rhino. And it's nice that you could swap them out. Fits perfect, and just get it done. This is an old school. I got this. I traded a bunch of K-bars. This is my very first Tops knife. So I had a great K-bar collection going. I started really getting more into the batoning aspect of it. And with that you know, semi, you know, full tang, I didn't want to destroy the K-bar, so I said, let me set them all in. So when I traded them in, it was a pawn shop. I saw this laying there. I go, you know, I've always wanted to own a Tops knife. So 2 K-bars for this, the knife we spoke about, but the sheath is so primitive, old school Kydex. The one thing I won't grind it down, because you could, is that I've actually used this to cut and slice snow to put my tent down. And I've always said if I was paddling with this knife, I lost my paddle, canoeing or kayaking. Dude, it's like a 5-horse motor. You're gonna go places with this paddle, right? You know, what that old movie, Dazed and Confused, right? Get over here, freshman. Okay, a lot of options with this sheath, but no,
multi-tool.
It's a multi-tool sheath. You know, if I need to dig with it, okay. But no, I've kept it original because I thought there'd be some form of function. I molded on a back plate and made my own dangler out of it. But what I have here in my Tops collection, I will never sell. The challenge being, you could get rid of it but you're gonna think about it at night and go, dude, I missed that Apache. I miss it.
Yep.
And you got to get it back.
That's what happened.
That's what happens.
That's exactly why I ended up with the Longhorn Bowie again. Again, one that I had in my collection. I let it go. I dreamt about this and I had to get it back. So now it's here and it's here to stay. That's
top of my list. That Longhorn Bowie, 100% top of my list.
Top, no pun you've said that 4 times today.
I have. You know what? I mean, the leather work. How could you ever complain about this? I know you dyed it, but even if you didn't,
right?
You have recessed stitches. The fit and finish of those stitching is absolutely perfect. The thickness of the, I mean, come on, look at that, and how nice it fits. It's like it's gonna fall out. Look at the retention.
No, they do an amazing job
on leather.
They do.
Anyway,
nice.
Fanboy or not, you have to have one in your collection, and I promise if you do, it will not be your last.
Absolutely. So, well, okay. With that, I don't know about you, but I'm running out of coffee.
I could use another cup.
I think we've covered a lot here today. I have one final question for you.
Okay.
Controversial. And for all you out there, I need you to weigh in the comments below. Okay, you can only pick one brand, and this one brand you're stuck with. And you can only get knives from that one brand from here on out forever. Do you go with Tops or do you go with Essie?
So this is a highly controversial question. You better be prepared for the comments here, Eric. So you're asking me and you,
yep,
Tops or Essie?
Yep, you only get your choice. You can only go with Tops, you could only go with Essie from here on out. But you get the advantage of their whole collection. Which would you go with?
All right, that is a loaded question. Why are you making me answer this? So...
And I don't have the answer.
I don't want to answer it. I'd be happy with either one. But I will tell you this. If I'm going to commit to the brand, and that to me means having more than one knife, as your needs change, as your adventures change, jungle, your different conditions, I'm going to have to say hands down Tops because of the variety.
The variety and the versatility.
The catalog itself, I think, is 180 models, okay? And very rarely does Tops discontinue a model because they put so much thought behind the design. They know there is a group of people who will appreciate that particular design. So you see designs here that are literally going 15, 16, 17, 20 plus years that they still have in production.
Correct.
If people didn't buy them and didn't think they would be useful, they would have discontinued that model. But for versatility of the brand, endless when it comes to Tops.
Yep. And I would say, I mean, in all reality, I mean, it's kind of not exactly a fair question, but I posed it simply and you nailed it right on the head, which is they have the variety. They have the different tools, different options. Their 2020 lineup is absolutely spectacular. So if you haven't seen Tops 2020 lineup at this point, definitely take a look. A lot of great knives coming out and everything from your larger choppers. We're seeing the Kuma cage coming out now. So Wei-Sun Johnny Sai, who's been developing the Kuma lineup now with the Kuma cage. It's pretty impressive to watch the brand and how many designs they pump out every single year. And you go from your classics to, things that are constantly evolving. I gotta say, Tops knives, definitely something here for everyone. So, all right, Joe, I don't know, man. I think we did it. That was the Out of Doors, episode 5. I feel pretty good about that. I mean, we've had a lot of Tops knives in our hands. We've had the opportunity to play, demonstrate some blades, talk about some topics, maybe some controversy a little bit here and there. Again, guys, please weigh in the comments. But other than that, I mean, I'm full. I've had my coffee. I'm feeling pretty darn good.
I'm feeling real good with this Steel Eagle 105D in my hand, and I'm ready to rock and roll with it.
All right, man. Well, thanks again, Joe, as always. I appreciate your time out here. Appreciate all of you checking this out. I hope you like what you saw, and I hope you found it a little bit informative. If you like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for stopping by. Take care now. We'll see you soon.
Real soon.